Okay, inviting up our first feature for this evening, Janice Windle's other half, co-host of the night in Guildford. Fantastic Irish poet. I've first bumped into him in Bow Library, Bow Idea Store, and we've been mates ever since. And yet he's coming down and he's going to reel off some fine, sweet Irish poetry for you. Could you please look him up, Mr. Dónall Dempsey!
My favourite Irish word is ullastraw. And I used to ask my Uncle Mikey, when did that happen? He'd always say, oh, ullastraw, ullastraw. Ullastraw is an archaic word. I like to keep it alive in my mouth, so I keep on using it. I wrote this poem to keep it alive as well. Ullastraw means the day before yesterday. Why you'd need a term for that, I don't know. I told this to a Chinese friend and she said, yeah, we've a word for the day before yesterday too. And this one's in Irish, by the way, because of the night that's nearly in it. It's called Grandma Cree, which means love of my life. Ullastraw the gra gan istam, akanish the gra gakin out gakin bed. Love of my life. The day before yesterday, your love unknown to me. Now your love everywhere, everything. Of course, that's when it goes all right. This is about when it goes all wrong. This is a delightful little ditty called Autopsy. You made the opening incision with almost clinical precision. Took the heart out, found it wanting. Took the top off the head, removed the mind. What exactly was it you expected to find? I looked at you with sad eyes that said it wouldn't have hurt half as much if you'd only waited till I was dead. Thank you. This is called Preserve. Tongue stained with blackberries, we collect kisses, falling into ditches, being stung by nettles. Your dress snags on a briar, and you cry out in mock horror. I cut my way through the tangle of thorns as if I were your prince. Charming me, you undo your buttons as you step out of your dress. As if you were stepping out of yourself. Your dress hangs like a chrysalis. You let down your golden hair and we make love then and there. A tractor and some cows go by. We laugh and try to hide. The sun beats down on my bum, we giggle and come, return to the big old dirty town and turn our blackberry picking days into luscious winter jam. Thank you. When they met you, they broke the mold. I sit and gaze amazed as you create a rubber mold of your vulva. You ask me what I think. I blink and grin. It's something else, but what's it for? It's for you, because I love all the things that you do to it. I smiled, well, all right. For years, your masterpiece held pride of place above our mantelpiece, created heated debate over how much was too much or how far was too far, or as Alan says, it oughtn't to be allowed. People were often affronted, but you, being you as was your wont, proudly declared, I am not ashamed of my cunt. It always made me smile. Years later, we broke up and it ended up in an attic, neatly packaged and covered with dried wild flowers. I wrote and asked if you wanted your vulva back. You wrote back and said, oh yes, please, in big, bold capital letters. And so, like a Rosetta Stone, it was returned to its original owner with a little note attached that simply said, thank you for the gift of this and for loaning it to me for all these years. It was greatly loved and greatly missed and sealed with love and a single kiss. Thank you. I always do this poem for Brian when he's in the audience. It's not about Brian. Thankfully, it's for him. This poem used to languish. Anytime I used to meet him, he always said, why don't you do the thank you poem? So I always do the thank you poem on the expectation that he'll do his elephant poem. So he does his elephant poem for me, I do the thank you poem for him. There it goes. It's called Thank You. He called me a cunt. Oi, you're a cunt. I thanked him for the compliment. Couldn't conceive of anything more beautiful to be. Thank you. Crazy loneliness hijacks memory of a beautiful girl. Crazy loneliness hijacks memory of a beautiful girl. Last night I missed you so much that I made love to your nightdress passionately. Now your nightdress hides from me, slinks under pillow and duvet. I can't take another night without you. Your nightie can't take another night with me. I am holding your dresses hostage, threatening them with kisses, caresses if they make one false move. Your other clothes tremble in the wardrobe. Come back to me. Thank you. Clothes have no memory. Your most prized dress must confess that it cannot remember the swell of your breast, the rise and fall of your breeding. Clothes have no memory. It is winter now and your summer frock has totally forgot the sheer sunny shockedness of being underneath it all, absolutely Nicholas. Kisses like butterflies alighting high, high, on your inner thigh, thigh. Don't even go there, Ernie. Clothes have no memory. Your bra, unhooked, unhinged, cannot really recall the thrill of it all as my hands with each caress create your breasts. Clothes have no memory. Clothes have no memory, but I do. Thank you. This is called Snowfalls. She wakes to a morning with no reason for living, cries in the mirror to be forgiven, puts on her makeup, takes off her clothes, sits there and bleeds until she can't feel, the blood in her veins runs cold. The cat cries to be fed, the batteries in her Walkman go dead, the Rachmaninoff stops. A letter she will never read sits on the welcome mat. Somewhere a mobile rings and stops. A member of a minor political party knocks on her door, slips on the ice, curses. A man laughs at another man's joke. It's a big laugh, he's a big bloke. Laughter invades the square. There's a chill in the air. Her best friend calls for her to go on a blind date. She does not hear. Snow, snow, snow falls. Thank you. We'll get back to the Irish. This is when it all goes wrong again, when the relationship goes on the rocks and all that's left is the flotsam and jetsam of emotional bits and bobs. So it's called Rock Mara, flotsam and jetsam. Ach a cheach is tusa lubarlar, tak miawl skian miawl mor cheachta mar chala mar a súl. Manor is tusa palto godian magali das agus godian magal súla clay. Onchach, tato muras fein agus tusa ag rasa breg. A morning is nála mea rolat ach na nardo I is tusa mas. Gusoli dia tu the grand ni ha fog marave agus anish Mook on Caneel. Mook on Caneel. Flotsam and jetsam. Oh, beloved one, you were a drop stitch, a roofless house, a blunt knife, a frozen sea, brackish water, a mirage. Woe is me, you were a wallop to the right testicle and to the left eyeball. Foolish woman, you have a high opinion of yourself and you sprouting lies. Sweetheart, I am ashamed to tell you that one wouldn't expect better of you. You are nausea. May God grant you a long life of utter loathing and you the cause of it. But forgiveness, my love. Thank you ever so much. Say no more about it. And now blow out the candle. Blow out the candle. Thank you. Goes all right again. This is called Slanus agus Sostak, which means happiness and satisfaction, I guess. Yeah, that's it. Fasc sé ascara, Dónall Lupadon Lapadon, Lupadon Lapadon, Lupadon Lapadon, plab plab. Mín gara of plab agus plab. Ní raibh ein lúd orthaí, ní raibh ein lúd An jasca léir gan gyo. Fasci ascara, son sauce. Happiness and satisfaction. They burst out laughing. The poem of the splish splash. Splish splash. The splashes chuckling. She hadn't a stitch on her. He hadn't a stitch on him. Very nice altogether, undoubtedly. They burst out laughing. Satisfactory happiness. Thank you. While I'm reading this, I'll just do a little haiku to break the ice. I know it's too late to break the ice now. Woof, woof, said the dog. Meow, meow, said the cat. Oh, just shut the fuck up, said the parrot. This is called Old Dog, New Tricks. It was my daughter's 3rd year in this world, and we had all our peers around, and they were going absolutely bananas altogether. And I thought, I've got to go into the room and tell them to shut up. And just when I braved myself to go in to tell them to shut up, it all went dead silent. And that was even more worrying, and I thought, I better go in and find out why it all went dead silent. And then they all burst into the room again, and this is what they just practically said this poem to me. It's called Old Dog, New Tricks. The dog's in the loo! We was teaching him to pee, and he just fell in. Thank you. My wife and myself were longing to have a baby, and although we had much fun practicing, no baby had as yet materialized. We went for a test after the test, and we had only one last test. This always makes Ernie sick. One last test, Ernie, to see whether the fallopian tubes were clear. It's always too much information for him. He's learned to bear. And the test was cancelled for 6 months, and then it was cancelled for 6 months, and cancelled for 6 months, and a year and a half later, we gave up and we fell pregnant. Being a newly pregnant man, I used to sleep down by my wife's belly and sing songs in Irish to our unborn child. She was Finnish, and she had no idea what I was singing. And she would say, oh, just keep saying that, that's lovely, go to sleep. And that's the effect I have on women, I just put them to sleep. So the first half is a lullaby. It's an embroidery of all the Irish I thought I didn't know come back and stitched together in some sort of emotional, subtle little song. So it's called As Gaelga. Dún do Sula, close your eyes. Cuddle go law ma gra save. Sleep until day, my gentle love. Cuddle go sov, sleep peacefully, peacefully. I roke on Gaelic sha, is rocky on green sha fee. This moon will rise, this sun will set. Aragus gra I goni, care and love always. Gach iha is gach law is gach iha. Every night, every day, every night. Ma plurin, ma moorin, ma storin. My little flower, my little darling, my little treasure. Akanish, but now, cuddle gasov, gasiv, sleep peacefully, gently, gafanya and lay, until the break of day, the misha or the tave, with me by your side. Losing our baby late into the night, holding this little thing that only attempted to be human, unable to let go, I clasped the fetus tightly in my hand, and buried it in the dawn of our local park, under a recently planted red rose bush. In my grief, flower and baby became one, and night after night I climbed over high railings and even higher stars to talk to her in the dark in Irish, or sing my love is like a red, red rose, or cry, or cry. Almost got arrested one night by an Irish cop, drawn to the sound of Irish emerging from darkness. Guess he let me go because it wouldn't look good on a charge sheet. The defendant was talking and crying to a flower in Irish. Éist, éist, listen, listen. Dinna éigean ag cína. Someone is crying in a darkness, in his darkness. Phil-Runo, oh, Phil-Runo is not in me room. Philarum akushla sto, oh, agus chifik to and glor. Thank you.
Magnificent, sensual, really, really moving. Once more for Dónall Dempsey!